Hello, 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 hello. So, tonight's episode of Rydes N Vybes is not sponsored. However, if you would like to sponsor one or more episodes or be an official show partner, then feel free to reach out to me by email, DM, call, or text, and we'll go ahead and get that worked on. Hey, if you haven't been aware and saw the numbers that Rydes N Vybes are generating, then I am happy to send you the information. We can sit down and talk about the plan that works best for your business or brand, and we'll go ahead and move forward with the sponsorship. Now, tonight's guest, I really feel like needs no introduction, but I'm going to let him come on and introduce is and what he does. It's probably been a long time coming that we have needed to have him on the show, but nevertheless, we're here now. So we'll go ahead and bring him on. While we wait for him to come on, if you guys have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, make sure you go click the link in my bio and subscribe. There are a lot of episodes to catch up on. Hey,
KP, how you doing?
what's going on with you?
Everything good, man. We cooling and doing.
Thank you, first of all, for taking time out of your busy schedule to sit down and talk with us and let us get all up in your business for a few minutes.
Absolutely.
All right. So what I'll do is I'll start off with one of my questions, and then I'll start off with the fans' questions, okay?
Okay, yeah. Let's do it.
All right. So tell me how you got into cars.
I got into cars a long time ago, since I was a kid, liking all types of cars, and the area I grew up in, old schools, donks, and being a little kid, being a young kid, I said, one day I'm going to get one.
Right.
It took a while, and, I've always had all types of old school cars. I had a lowrider. Always wanted a donk, though. 7.5, always been my favorite. And, finally I was able to get one, and but I always loved cars, especially old school cars.
So what is it about the 75, though? That's not one of the most popular years.
Yeah. The 75, I had a neighbor that had one, and I always used to see, it used to be a blue one, 30s and lows, and I loved it. I used to walk down the neighborhood, and I just love the 75. I love big cars. I love the grill, and 75 is my favorite of the lineup.
So what made you go with the type of design on your car that you went with? Because it is unique for you being from or in South Florida. It's really unique versus a lot of the, I guess, maybe cookie cutter or standard donks, especially the grill.
Yeah. I always wanted, I-95 Motorsports, big shout out to them. They're the first ones that did my car.
Okay.
I remember when I went to Kenny, I told him I wanted black. My car used to be burgundy and white. And I went up to Kenny and I said I wanted it black and gold. And, he kind of like tried to talk me out of it. He goes, man, those are the two worst things you want to have in South Florida. Right. Black car and gold, because of the weather down here.
Right.
But we went with it. And I always wanted a Scarface theme, especially the colors, the red, gold, and black and white. The grill was actually I-95. They had the grill. They told me, look, we got something you might like. And they showed it to me, and I said, you know what, I want it. It fits great with the car. When I put the grill on the car, I did get a lot of negative, feedback. Right. But at the end of the day, I built the car for me. Right. So, to this day, that grill is still on, and it will be on there once the car is done. Right. So, yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Most of the people, okay, so me and Freddie talked about this last week. You have car guys, and then you have guys with cars, and girls also, right? you have people that build the cars because they love cars, because they, like you said, been seeing it since they were a kid. They knew that they were going to grow up and have this car. And then you have the people that are, they know they can get a little clout because they got a certain type of car. They really want to just be internet famous. They don't really have, they're really doing it for other people versus doing it for themselves. So you always have to commend people who, no matter whether it's contrary to popular opinion, they build their cars for themselves, and I can appreciate that.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, guys that have cars and guys that build cars, I think it all contributes to the car culture, regardless. You know what I mean? Uh, but definitely, you got to build the car for yourself. Especially in just go with what you like. And like I said, my car, when it came out, a lot of people didn't like the car because it had engraving, which is a low rider flavor to it.
Right.
But I got past both cultures, low riders and donks. So I wanted to put a little flavor, a low rider flavor to mine. And but I got a lot of negative feedback about it. I did get a lot of love. The love that I got for my car were people that were not in the donk game, unfortunately.
Right.
I went, I rode down to South Beach, down to Wynwood, all the, popular spots, and I got a lot of love.
Right.
People around my car want to take pictures with my car. But, at the end of the day, again, and I hate to sound like a broken record, you got to build the car for yourself.
Right.
I know the question it was, cars, guys that have cars and guys that build cars, but at the end of the day, I think it all contributes to the car culture. I really don't pay no mind to that. You know
Right.
what I mean? I'm just focused on my build, and that's basically it. But I love everything that's going on, especially on the internet right now. I mean,
it can be a bit much, though. To be honest, it's a
well,
bit
you
much.
know what? It is, but it's fun, and you know what? Bring it. You know what I mean? It's a lot of competition, but a lot of guys watch what other guys are doing. Just leave it alone. Stay in your lane. Do you? You know what I'm saying? But it's fun. Just, it all comes down to being in the car game and competition.
Well, to me, I think if I'm giving my honest opinion, it's a lot of cookie cutter stuff going on in the car world. Like this, yeah, I'm just gonna say it. It's a lot of there can only be so much of this, so much of that. Like I feel like it's a handbook, and everybody is looking at the handbook, and everybody's doing the same thing.
Agree. There's and I feel you. I know you want to say what you feel, and we live in a sensitive world right now. But, people think you're talking about them, and if you say something, they go and get mad. But there's really nothing unique. It's all the same engine.
Right.
Now it's all Danes. Everybody wants to put Danes on their car.
Right.
It's just a different color. That's it. But nobody's really bringing anything out unique. Something that you say, okay, that's not. You know what I'm saying? So, but at the end of the day, they're all beautiful cars. But I like I said, you can't say too much because people are sensitive nowadays. And,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Right. The first thing my grandma used to always tell me, a hit dog gonna holler. So if I say this one thing, if you feel hit, you're gonna be like, oh, she was talking about, I didn't even say your name.
Exactly. People hit me up and said that, I feel like you're talking about me, and sometimes I want to speak my mind, I do, but people are sensitive, you know what I'm saying? We're in a social media world right now, and
Right.
And you can see it. People, I call them scared tactics. If you see sometimes people will post something on Instagram because they want to say something to somebody, but then they take that post down.
Right.
And I call that scared tactics.
Right.
Not necessarily scared of the person they're trying to, send a message to, but they're scared about something. They're scared about losing followers. They're scared about not getting likes or their views. You know what I'm saying? But you know, we just got to be political correct, I guess.
Well, for me, I just try to. Here's the thing, and I tell people it kind of just depends on why you are on social media, right? Me, initially, when I started the show back in 2019, I did not think that my brand was going to grow the way that it was. I was just doing it because it was fun, and I felt like the fans came to me and asked me questions about people like you. I was like, I wasn't with him shooting in the gym. I don't know. But you guys all felt comfortable talking to me, so I was kind of able to marry the two. Now, to be honest, I had to learn everything on social media in front of the world.
Right.
I didn't know not to read the comments and respond. I didn't know not to, you know what I'm saying? It was so much that I just had to learn in front of people. And now that my brand is where it is, I tell people all the time, I'm not going to let anybody mess up the brand or what I have built from the ground up.
Right.
So therefore, I have to stay out of a lot of stuff. I cannot say a lot of stuff that I want to say, but I also consider myself a social media journalist, and I have to let people come on and speak their truth.
Right.
Now, everybody understands that might not be, it may not have anything to do with me. I don't have to agree or disagree with whatever somebody's viewpoint or standpoint on something is. I'm just letting the guests speak their mind.
Right.
So I have had people call me and be like, hey, KP, you know, I ain't never known you to be messy. But what did I say messy? I didn't say one word. I let the guests speak their mind.
Right.
And that's what I'm going to do if I consider myself really a journalist.
Absolutely. And, because you got to speak your mind. You know what? If you hurt feelings, you hurt feelings. You know what I mean? The donk game is one of them subjects. It's sensitive. Right. The car game, it's sensitive. It is. Listen, at the end of the day, if you really look at social media, everybody's shooting at each other.
Right.
The low. They're shooting at each other. And I call it, internet thugging. And when you see them in the streets, they be hugging.
Right.
And, you know what I'm saying? They shoot. Look, shops do the same thing. They shoot at each other.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But then when they see each other, they hug. You know
right.
what I'm saying? And you be like, damn, I thought they beefing or something. But the problem is that in the car game, in the donk game, everybody needs each other. That's
right.
what they're going to need something from this person. They're going to need something from, so they all really don't like each other, but they need each other.
Right.
I might come under fire for saying things like this, but you know what I'm saying? So, it's just entertainment, really. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And some guys get mad, some guys get hurt, and you just got to be you, man. You just got to do you. That's it.
Well, I can appreciate it when they don't let it get personal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I love some good trash talking, like what's going on with Hollywood and flying them now that Plain Jane is back. I love me some good trash talking. Now, where it bothers me is when it gets personal. You racing or building a car ain't got nothing to do with your home life, what your kids got going on, what your house look like. None of that has anything to do with any of that.
Right.
So as long as they keep it from being personal, I'm all for the trash talk. Now, the problem comes in where some people are super sensitive.
Absolutely.
And it gives six in girls. Because if you are in this thing and you are on a competitive level, my grandma used to tell me you can't argue with a fool because it's hard for onlookers to tell who is the fool. So you'll never catch me going back and forth with somebody on social media because I really don't have time for it.
Exactly.
And these guys, some of these guys and ladies have multi-million-dollar shops or $1 million or you know what I'm saying? They do great work. And to go back and forth with somebody, even a person building a car, my car is not complete, but I'm not going to hate on you because your car is complete.
Absolutely not, yeah. Because everybody's level is different. Everybody's situation is different. And I get asked the same thing with my car, and my car has been in the shop, for 2 years or 2 years and something. I lost count. But, you know, I struggle everyday life. You know, I got a family, I got bills. You know, I'm a 9 to 5. You know,
Right.
so and also I'm doing things to my car that take time, like engraving. You know, it's done by hand and it takes time. You know what I
Right.
mean? But absolutely, you can't watch what the other person is doing
Right.
and you know, go off that. You gotta do you. You always gotta do you,
Right.
and on your pace.
Right. If you stay in your lane, you won't have an accident. You will not crash if you stay in your lane. And
Absolutely.
that's the one thing I love about you and your family. Speaking of, let's move to the family dynamic. Let me just say this. I love you and your wife.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
I remember the first time I met y'all and I seen your car. Remember they had the thing at the flea market? It
Yeah,
was years ago. I don't even know. It must have been like 18 or 19,
yeah.
maybe.
It was Juice's Ride Out, New Year Ride
Right,
Out. Yeah,
right. And I seen the car. I was like, I've never seen this, but this is
yeah.
nice. I can appreciate different in this car world.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But the family dynamic, let me just say this to you. It's a lot of guys in this car world that hope, wish, and pray that they can have a partner as supportive as your wife. And I really believe in giving people their flowers while they are here to smell them. It is so dope that she is, and I won't even say that she might be 1,000% into what you into, but she make it look good.
No, she's in it. She's very supportive. You know, and she goes through it. That's how Donk Wives was. You know, she came up with Donk Wives. You know, going with me to the car shows and all that. But yeah, I'm very blessed to have her on my side. You know, and we do work together. We disagree. You know, like all relationships. You know what I mean? And sometimes she tells me, "Hey, you know, you're not doing it right." You know, and I gotta look back and say, "Okay, let me fix it." You know what I mean? And I do the same with her. So we definitely support each other, you know, and I'm blessed to have her on my side, and I'm blessed that she's into the same things I am. You know what I mean?
Because I was looking at pictures of y'all from back in the days. It's like y'all been together a million years.
Yes. Yeah. Been together for a minute. Yeah.
It's so dope to be able to. I know it's a lot of people, myself included. I'm single, but I pray that one day I can have somebody that's into cars and the car culture the way that I am. Because if not, I don't think it will work for me.
Right. You will. You'll find somebody that it'll come along. You know what I'm saying? It's not easy now. Just
Right.
because two people like the same things doesn't mean But we make it work.
Yeah.
And I've gotten older and I'm more understanding and I do listen. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because somebody's got to give in. You know,
Is
you
it
got to.
usually you?
But I definitely appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Right. How does that dynamic work though? Like I know it's got to be a bit stressful when, because it's like personal time and then the car time. It's like it's not a break. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's hard. It's not easy. We have a lot of things, a lot of ideas that we got on the table. But again, and we just got a new baby, Marino.
Yeah.
Got 2 teenagers, so we're definitely busy. Going back and forth to school, picking up, dropping off, going to the doctors with the baby. So yeah, there's a lot of things we got on the table that we need to finish, but we just don't have the time, and that's where we have the rough patch. But overall, we're trying to make it work,
Right.
and hopefully we got all these ideas that we got. It's not easy for us neither. We're 9 to 5. We're not as popular as a lot of people out there, in the game. It's just us. No sponsorship, no nothing. We're not that popular. We're not that famous. And when you're 9 to 5, everything is harder.
Mm-hmm.
But we do got love for the car culture. We want to bring the car community together. Just for us, it's a little bit harder, but we still do it, even if we have 10, 15, 50 cars show up, we still do it because, it's our passion. So,
but you guys make it look so easy though. Like you're saying it's hard, but it's never been a time I ain't seen y'all and y'all made it look so easy. I was like, oh my God, I just love them.
right.
And then your wife, I think out of the two of y'all, I mean, no offense, but I love your wife the most. Cause she is just like the sweetest. I remember, I can't believe I'm telling this story. When she DM'd me from that Donk Wives account, and I had never seen it, I was like, this gotta be a scam. Ain't nobody, I don't know who this is, DMing me. I had to do a little research. I was like, I'm not answering that. I don't know who that is. But she did. Finally, we got to meet each other, and we've been locked in ever since. There are couples in this car world that I am really, really partial to. I love a couple that sticks together. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've never seen you guys, even you, like you say, y'all disagree. I've never seen y'all disagree in a manner where y'all let somebody think it's okay for them to come in and violate and have a conversation to you about her or to her about you. And that's the most important thing. Long as y'all are united in front of everybody, y'all can go home and have a knockdown drag out. As long as y'all, when we in the streets, we are together.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And thank you for saying that, and no offense. I didn't take no offense to what you said. And you know what? Everybody does like her better than yeah. which is okay. You know what I mean? I'll be the bad guy. It's okay.
You're not the bad guy. You just second. You just not first. You ain't the bad guy. You're not a bad guy. I love you too, but you just second.
I'm second. Okay.
So you said the car's still in the shop. When can we? Do you have a date, or do you have any time when it's gonna come out?
I don't have a date for it, but I am working hard. Are working hard. People that are working on my car are good people. Rod Elegance, Lars from both Texas, Dayton, and La Habra, Hernan from Engraved. I got a lot of work on my car. It's moving along slowly but surely.
Right.
And I don't care. I'm taking my time. I'm fine with it.
No.
And I hope it's a hit. And at the end of the day, I'm building it for me. You know what I mean? It's not everybody's take or taste, but it's mine and my family. Nikki loves it as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's coming along. Hopefully this year.
As long as you guys love it, and that's all that really matters.
That's all that matters. Yes, absolutely.
Now listen, when I seen that engraving, first of all, let me just say this, right? Until I started the show, I never was into like lowriders. Like I always saw them, I thought it was cool, but in my head, I always thought to myself, why build a car, put that much money in it, and make it go up and down and break it? So until I started hanging out with people like Avenue Convertibles, who's in the Lowrider Hall of Fame and stuff like that, I never really understood the lowrider thing. But when I found out how much lowriders cost with that engraving and all that stuff, I was like, Lord, God bless them. Because let me just tell you, these people around here building these dumps, thinking they spending some money. Them lowrider people with that engraving and stuff, they spending a bag.
They are. Yeah. And it takes time to build a lowrider. It takes years. Right. Lowriders take anywhere from 5 to 10 years to get built, man.
Right.
Because they got engraving going on, gold pieces and that paint job. I'm a lowrider. I love lowriders as well. I'm not too deep into it, like the color scheme. I'm a base coat, clear coat kind of guy. Right. But the engraving to me has always been a unique touch. It's done by hand. To me, I think it's art. You know what I mean? It is art. So right. I think it has a little flavor to art. And that's what I'm doing with my donk. It has lowrider and donk culture clashing together, coming together. And hopefully, it turns out the way I imagine it's going to turn out.
I'm sure it will. So I gotta ask why we got all these people watching. When the car is ready, can I have an exclusive first look at the car?
Sure. I mean, if the timing is right, you know, if we get together at the right time, I don't know when it's going to be done. You know what I mean? I don't want to promise anything, you know, and doesn't happen.
I don't care when it is.
Right.
I don't care if it's if I don't care if it's in 2026. I need a first
Right.
look.
Yeah. We can make it happen. Absolutely. We can make it happen. You know, I don't know if, you know, where I'm going to reveal the car or, you know, when I'm going to bring it out. So, you know, but we can make it happen. Absolutely.
Just
And
make sure I'm there. Whenever you get ready to bring it out, just let me know, and I'm gonna try my best to be there. If not, I'm gonna be on the other side of the live looking
yeah,
at it.
yeah. You know, my car club, you know, Low Life Car Club, you know, we're having another, you know, picnic this year in December. Uh, you know, I would love for it to be done by then. You know what I mean? Hopefully it can happen. But again, I don't know. You know what I mean? You know, it takes time. You know, you know, props to these guys. They build these donks in 30 days, man. I don't know how they do it.
Right. You know how they do it, but we ain't gonna say it. It's okay.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it that fast. I really can't. You know, but they dish them out real quick. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but yeah, you know, hopefully, you know, it can be done this year, and I definitely give you a holler, you know, and we'll make it happen.
I sure appreciate it. Now let me ask if you have. I don't know if this car is your ultimate and only dream car, but if this is not your dream car, what is your dream car to build?
My dream car
Mm-hmm.
is a 1964 Lincoln Continental. I think that I've had the chance to have that car. I think that's the most gangster car there is. That's just my opinion.
It is.
You know, and I've had a chance to have that car, and I let it go. You know, I just didn't, you know, pull the trigger. But the 1975 is my second. I have love for that car, you know, and but yeah, this 1964 Lincoln Continental suicide doors convertible. Yeah. Oof, it's just, you know, it's gangster. You know, all black. I would do it all black, white interior, slam it.
Oh, you definitely. That's definitely gangster. I can see that.
Yeah, those cars are untouchable right now. I mean, you know, it's just. But yeah, that would be my dream car.
So, what was it like growing up in South Florida? Because you grew up in South Florida, right?
Yes.
What was it like growing up in South Florida with the car culture?
Uh, it's definitely changed, you know. But the car culture in South Florida has always been there. You know, it's always been, you know, and all different kinds of cars. You know what I mean? In South Florida, you can have a Ferrari and a donk parked right next to each other, and that's the yeah, that's the beauty of it. And you know what? You have a Ferrari and a donk parked next to each other. Guess who's going to have the crowd
The
around them?
donk.
Donk. And you know, but yeah, growing up in South Florida, you know, to me was fun. I had, you know, bad times and good times, you know. Uh, but yeah, definitely South Florida, the capital of donks, Impala and donks, and it's always been great. The car culture has always been huge since I was a kid, you know. So yeah, you know, I love it, and you know, it's evolved. I mean, it's huge. It's even bigger now. You know, more money. You know, these cars, the amount of money that we put into these cars. You know what I mean? But it's a melting pot. You got all types of cars. You got Jeeps, trucks, you know, fast cars, you know, them scat packs. You got donks. You got box Chevys. You got, you know, all kinds and types of cars in South Florida, and we all come together sometimes. And you have, you know, that different, you know, culture getting together.
Do you think social media has helped or hurt the car culture?
I think social media has hurt everything, not only the car culture.
Right.
You know, social media. The world we live in today. You know, what's real, you know, to me is an illusion. You know what I'm saying? Everything is, it's nice and pretty and everybody's doing good. You know what I'm saying? But social media has hurt everything. You know, I'm old school. I come from, you know, we didn't have social media. You know what I'm talking about? If we had a problem, we handled it face to face. Nowadays, like I said, you know, internet thugging, street hugging, and yeah, it's definitely changed. I think social media has hurt everything, including the donk culture and the car culture.
Yeah, you know, you got a whole bunch of internet gangsters. They gonna they gonna type and act like you might not see them in real life. And like I tell people all the time, you gotta be careful what you typing, because some people ain't gonna take it the way that you think they're gonna take it, and now you wondering why you getting punched in the face.
Well, it's easy to you know, shoot a dagger on social media. It's
Right.
easy. You know, you can say something nasty, or you know, it's just like when somebody puts a car, you know, their cars or something. Somebody's always going to come in and say something negative.
Right.
Always, always. You know, and it doesn't even make any sense. But they're going to write it anyways because it's easy.
Yeah.
If it was face to face, they wouldn't say shit.
You're right.
But in social media, they can type that shit very.
Yeah. And not to mention, what about the cars that you done seen on social media, and then when you see them in real life, you're like, oh no, that cannot be the same car. That is not the same car. That car don't look nothing like that on social media.
Yeah. Every car looks good on pictures. You won't see, you know, the you know, scratches or paint fading, gold fading. You don't see none of that in pictures. All cars look good in pictures.
Right.
And you know, when I see an old car, I really don't say nothing because it's an old car.
Right.
You know, I love them all. You know what I'm saying? And I'm always going to give people their props, you know, because we got all different kinds of level. I represent 925. So when I see a car that's not, you know, doesn't have $100,000 in it, I'm not going to criticize that person.
Right.
In fact, I'm going to do the opposite.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because no matter what, he still got a donk. Even if it don't got $100,000 or $200,000 in it, I'm always going to give that person the respect.
Right.
But you are right. All cars do look good, you know, in pictures.
All of the ones that I really hate are, because you're right, everybody's on different levels, right?
Yeah.
The ones that I really hate are the ones that be capping. Like, the car's so nice, and then when you see it in real life, you be like, ain't no way you talked all that smack about this car, and now it ain't no way. It ain't no way.
Yeah. Well, you're right about that. If you're talking shit, you know what I'm saying? You got to back it up. You know,
Right.
don't bring it out. You know what I'm saying? It don't look like it look in the pictures.
Right.
So if you're gonna talk trash, you got to back it up. You know what I mean?
I don't never say nothing, but I just be waiting for somebody to say something, because I just be, you know, I get my popcorn and I just sit down and wait for somebody to say something, because you know I ain't gonna say it.
Straight to the comments. I feel you.
The comments be better than the post. I swear to God.
Yeah, absolutely. And that, you know, I do the same thing. You know what I mean? Just straight to the comments. And
Right.
but yeah, but you know what? It's entertaining. You know, I love it. You know, I think a lot of people doing great things. And I love it. I hope they keep, you know, the car culture, the donk culture has come a long way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's people out there that are doing good things. You know what I mean?
Right. So you mentioned the picnic in December. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, the picnic will be in December. They usually do it every 2 years. Mm-hmm. I guess we're going to run it back to back. You know, this will be the 33-year anniversary.
Oh, wow.
So hopefully my car be ready by then. You know what I mean? And hopefully you come down and join us.
What's the date?
I think it's December 8th, if I'm not mistaken.
It's always amazing in South Florida. December ain't even December in South Florida.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, I be looking for an excuse to come down there. I just need me a house down there, for real.
Well, I saw you were down here not too long ago, down in Fort Lauderdale. You were kind of close to us.
I was at Mike's shop. I was in West Palm.
Oh,
I was working, you know, I'm going around the country doing so that's the new segment of my show. I'm going to different shops and different um automotive places and working. So I learned how to weld and bead
oh,
roll and
yeah.
then
Phoenix,
huh?
Phoenix,
Yeah,
right?
Phoenix fabrication. And then I went to Easy Color Works and I learned how to paint cars.
Okay.
And I can't say where I'm going next. I can tell you off of here where I'm going next because that's gonna be a good one.
Okay.
But I got a couple of places lined up, and I do have to come back to South Florida. So when I do, I'll make sure that I link up with you guys.
Absolutely. We'll link up and, have lunch or, dinner, whatever.
Yeah.
And, also I wanted to, thank you for having me on your show. I'm a 9 to 5. I know you'll be having some heavy hitters on your show. You know what I mean? Well, thank you for having me on your show. I appreciate it.
Well, I will say this about Rydes N Vybes, right? I tell anybody you can have one follower or you can have 1 million followers to come on here. If I think that somebody is doing something interesting and they are in the car culture, then they can come on the show. Like I said, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me how many followers a person has, because if they're doing something, and definitely something that's authentic in the car culture. We don't have enough authenticity. Everybody, to me, is not everybody. I won't say everybody. A lot of people in this car world are just truly just clout chasing. And that's one thing that I kind of pride myself on. Although I do love that I'm able to get like people who have a large following on the show, people who have a large following have approached me and been like, hey, I saw this person on your show and it was so interesting. You know what I mean? So if they don't catch it when we're actually doing the show, they catch the replay and they're like, oh my God, that was so interesting. Speaking of engraving, I had an engraving guy on the show, and nobody knew about him. And one of the guys that's like really big in the car world reached out to me and he was like, hey, I saw that guy that you had on the show who does the engraving. Can you get in contact with him for me? Because I love what he does. So I think that's the one thing that I kind of pride myself on with Rydes N Vybes. I'm able to marry situations. I'm able to connect people that ordinarily might not have known about each other. And when I'm able to do that, I feel like I've done my job.
Absolutely. Yeah. I see that, bringing people together.
Right.
That's
Even though one thing about these men, y'all men in this car world, y'all gonna argue for some odd reason. Y'all gonna get on the internet and argue and go back and forth and scream at your phone. I don't know why, but I try to prevent that. But sometimes I just have to be like, hey, carry on. Y'all do what you do. I'm just gonna get my popcorn and watch the show.
I wouldn't do that. I've had people comment on my posts or DM me. And the way I handle that, I just don't answer.
Yeah, leave them on red. When you leave people on red, that make them real mad.
Yeah, silence speak louder than words. Trust me.
Right.
Yeah. I'll just leave it alone. Besides, I couldn't argue back and forth.
Yeah.
It's not in me.
Yeah, you know what? And the other thing about arguing with people on social media is you could be arguing with a 12-year-old kid in Iowa. You don't know these people.
Listen, in the car culture, you're going to run into that person.
Right.
So it's a small world. Absolutely. You're going to run into that person, and you don't want that. You know what I'm saying? So, you just got to keep it cool. You know what I mean? And I mean, if you're a hater, then that's a problem. If you envy people, then that's a problem. You know what I'm saying? But besides that, man, I mean, don't let shit bother you. Just continue what you're doing, you know what I mean? And go about your way, and that's it.
And the other thing is you and your wife are building a brand. So you can't afford to let somebody come in and jeopardize what you have built thus far and where you are trying to go. Because like you said, you mentioned earlier, you don't have any sponsors and stuff like that. That don't mean you don't want them.
Right.
You're trying to get them.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. We're trying, and, it's difficult. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people that are doing, great things, and, we see them, and we admire them and, try to learn from them as well. you know. But yeah, me and Donk Wise definitely want to bring the community together, and we do our little things. You know what I mean? It's difficult, but we still do them. You
Well,
know,
first of all, I don't want you to want to hear you say y'all do nothing little. Everything y'all do big. So ain't nothing little over here around here. We
right?
don't do little stuff. We do it big.
We do it. I feel you. Hopefully we'll get there. You know, and Donk Wise got a lot of good ideas. You know, and we like I said before, we got them on the table. We just got to get to it. You know, we need that time to get to it.
Right. I love me some Nikki. That's my girl.
So I love her too.
So what's next? What you got going? Other than we talked about the picnic, what's next?
Right now, you know, I'm just trying to work on my car. As you know, I got some pieces that I got to take to Large tomorrow, send out to get gold plated, and you know, just trying to finish my car.
Right.
So once I'm done with that, I can move on to something else. I can't do, you know, too much at one time. You know, I got to take my time and got to finish what I started. I got bad days. I ain't gonna lie to you. You know, I got days where I just, you know, want to give up. You know, I got to keep it real. You know what I'm saying? Everything ain't, you know, sunshine and rainbows around here. You know what I'm saying? Real life is tough. So, you know, last year wasn't a good year for me. Struggled a little bit. But right now I'm just trying to finish my donk so I can bring it out. You know, I want to have fun with these guys. You know what I mean? I want to go to the shows. I want to go to the big shows. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, but yeah, that's basically it. You know, we got a new baby, Marino, so we you know, we're dealing with him as well.
Right.
You know what I mean? But at this point, once I finish my donk, then you know, Nikki wants one too. So
What?
yeah. So hopefully, you know, once I finish mine, we can start hers. You know what I mean? So
What year she want?
7'5". It gotta
Oh,
be a seven
you making
five.
her want a 75? What she want?
I'm not making her none. It's gotta be a 7'5". It's gotta be a 7'5". What is your favorite year?
Mine, I don't really have a favorite year dunk. I really just like them all. Growing up in, because you know I grew up in North Florida. I grew up in Jacksonville.
Okay.
So I seen dunks from the time I was a little bitty kid, and I seen them, you know, fixed up with the wet paint and stuff like that. So I just always admired them. This is an unpopular opinion, but I'm not a dunk girl. I'm a G-body girl. I'm building an 86 SST top. So I won't say I don't like dunks. I love and appreciate them because that was the culture where I grew up. But if I'm being honest, I would never build one.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I would never. My list, my rundown is the one I have now. I wanted an 87 T-top. I had an 87 and it was a race car. It was set up to race. But when they started all that crap, I sold it and bought the 86 T-top. So then after that, I want a Grand National, and then I want a short bed. That's it for me.
Nice. Okay.
No dunk nowhere in there.
All right. I can respect that.
So anything else you want us to know before we get out of here?
No, that's about it. You know, just happy that you had me on your show, and you know, hopefully we can do it again. And you know, when the donk comes out, you know, you'll be there with us. You know what I'm saying?
Not hopefully. You already done told me I got exclusivity on that dunk, and I'm gonna hold you to that. Cause see, I got a good track record. Cause Hollywood told me when Plain Jane came back out, he was gonna get me. He was gonna come to me first, and he did. So in front of all these people, you just said exclusively, I got the rights when the car come out.
All right, all right. So Gone Hollywood kept his word.
He did.
Okay.
Yeah. I thought he was lying though, for real, but he kept his word.
Props to him. I respect that.
Right. So I know you're gonna keep your word too, because you're just that type of guy.
With him.
Huh?
You know, Nikki went to school with him.
Really?
Yeah.
Nah, ain't no way. Nikki don't look nowhere near old as Hollywood. I mean, I shouldn't have said that, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, they went to school together. Same high school.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So I like I said, I I heard you mentioned earlier, you said that you don't always have good days. What I will tell you about that is, on a serious note, life has been life for a lot of people. So don't ever feel like it's just you. And I tell this to people all the time. Nobody should feel like it's just them, because life has been effed up for a lot of things and a lot of people, especially after after what we went through with the pandemic. Them people got all that money. Everything was flowing so freely. Like even me selling parts, I couldn't keep parts. You would have thought I got some money the way them folks was buying stuff. Then when that money dried up, everything dried up. And then the world went into they say we're in a recession now. So things are just not easy for a lot of people. So don't ever just feel like it's just you. It's all of us. If we're being honest.
Right. Yeah. And I want people to know too, the reason I'm redoing my donk is it started with a sponsorship that went wrong. Okay. And it's not that I took my donk and say, you know what, let me put it in the shop and try to compete with these guys. That's not the case. My donk, started with a sponsorship that went bad. And, once the engine was out, because I had a 454 big block. I'm going LS now. So once the engine was off, the guys came up to me and said, you're going to paint your engine bay. I'm like, shit, I didn't think about that. So that's how Rod came into the picture. And, for him to paint the engine bay. But once you start taking parts of, the fenders off, and, you're taking this off, you say, if you're going to do this, you might as well do that. If you do that, you might as well do this. By the time I knew it, my car's in pieces. So, yeah. And, I got myself, in the hole. Right. Because at the same time, I started adding things to it. Like I said, you know what? Fuck it. If I'm here now, I might as well do this. I might as well engrave this. I might as well gold plate this. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I wasn't in the situation to do that. Right. And it caught up to me. So that's why I have bad days. Right. I'm overwhelmed. Right. It's not easy to build a donk, especially nowadays. It's expensive. And, I hate to say this, but, celebrities and ball players, they hurt the game when they go to these shops. Right. They hurt the game for the 9 to 5. Right. When the 9 to 5 goes in there, prices went up. Yesterday prices ain't today prices. Right. So to me, that's just my opinion. I don't, I'm not, but I think that celebrities and ball players do hurt the game. Right. For the 9 to 5. Maybe not intentionally, but it does. Right. It's not, they got the money to do it, 9 to 5. Yeah, there is different levels. You don't got to go all in like they do. Absolutely. But still, it's going to cost you, it's going to cost you a lot.
I think it kind of just depends on the shop, right? I think it depends on the honesty of the shop, right? It's not. I don't feel like if I had a shop, just to try to play devil's advocate or put myself in their shoes, right? I would love for celebrities to come to my shop, right?
Absolutely.
But I also have to understand that it's different levels, and I also have to understand that what this other person over here can afford, you might not be able to afford. But we do need to sit down and make a plan. We need to sit down, and I need to show you on paper, hey, so this is what you want. This is what this costs. We may need to take this off or do this or do that. I think that's probably one of the things that I hear from people that's building cars that a lot of shops are missing. We need to sit down and we need to make a plan. We need to sit down and we need to, hey, when we're this much in, I'm gonna need this much money. When we're this much in, I'm gonna need this much money. When we're this much in, I'm gonna need this much money. That way it seems a little easier. Cause I'm gonna tell you no lie. I don't know if you ever seen them pictures when I first got my car, how my car looked. They looked really, really good on the outside. But when we got in there, all that rust and stuff, and every time they told me I needed another piece, you know that noise your cash out make when you get money with the coins dropping? That's what it sounded like. I never
Right.
did hear the words. All I could hear was the.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, if y'all come tell me one more thing wrong, I'm going to sell this car. But I got all the paint and body work done, and it is beautiful. It's no rust anywhere. It's amazing.
Yeah.
But you're absolutely right. That stuff is not cheap,
Just,
especially if you a 9 to 5 person, and God forbid you a single person like myself, trying to do all that stuff all alone. No, but at least you could talk to Nikki about it and be like, hey, babe, maybe we can do this thing. We could do that thing. When you doing it all by yourself, when I tell you, I had some days where I was ready to ball up in the fetal position and cry and suck my thumb. It was not pretty.
yeah, it's hard.
Right.
It's not. It's stressful.
Right.
The car, to clarify, when I mean, celebrities and ball players hurt the game, I'm also talking about the respect not given to the 9 to 5, players. You know what I mean?
Right.
You don't get treated the same. And you're right. It depends on the shop. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So, but yeah, we just got to keep going. And, Nikki helps me too. She says, you got to finish that car. You just can't stop. Got to finish it. So she definitely, brings me up and helps me, to keep going. You know what I mean? So
yeah. She's a real motivational person. I love that about her. She's very much a motivational person. That's super dope. So other than the picnic and finishing up the car, that's all we got going. Oh, and the new baby. Oh, wait, I forgot to say, congratulations on the new baby. He is so cute.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yeah, but the other thing is, me and her looking through the books, because we definitely want to make it to promised land. But, we trying to see what we can get away without paying.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I get you.
Okay, you know what? We got to pay the rent.
Right.
Maybe we can do without power, just use candles. You know what I'm saying? Just to go to the promised land. But I don't know. It ain't good right now. But
no, when that car comes out, watch. It's gonna get you a lot of attention. Watch, I can see that. Mark my words now. You gonna come back and be like, KP, you know what? You told me this. When that car come out, you definitely gonna get a lot of attention. And who knows? You might just get a good old invite. So you don't never know.
You never know, man. Hopefully, Rick Ross and Freddie looking at this video and they think about it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But right now I'm excited to see Olive Oil and Nava out there. But there's some other heavy hitters though. You got Turbo Kid.
Yep.
You got Supercharged Kid. You got Jet Fly gonna be out there as well.
Yep.
So it's gonna be a good one. I'm excited to see that.
It's definitely a lot of heavy hitters gonna be out there, and this is probably an unpopular opinion, but I don't even think the people who people think gonna win the keys.
Really, you think so?
Don't think so.
Oh, okay. Well,
I don't not wait. Let me just say this before anybody starts speculating. I don't know who gonna win the keys. And I ain't hating on nobody who feel like they're going to win the keys because they'll try to twist my words. But I definitely think it's going to be some surprises.
Really? I hope so. Let's see, But I kind of like what I see, you know what I'm saying? I mean, these cars, I-95 did a great job with Olive Oil.
I love them.
It looks really, really nice. I would love to see it in person. Nava's car, I haven't seen in person neither. Yeah. I was supposed to go to the Easter thing and I missed it.
Yeah.
We got kids, Easter and all that. But, and then Supercharged Kid, Turbo Kid, I would love to see those as well. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Definitely going to bring out the popcorn. You know what I mean? If I can't make it, because I'm trying to see what I can do without, the water and you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Listen, that it's definitely going to be something